Start your day with gratitude and purpose. Starting your day with a positive mindset is like opening a window to the light, allowing it to enter not only your surroundings, but also your soul. The power of what you think and feel when you wake up is crucial to setting the tone for your day. The simple act of nourishing your mind with gratitude and intention early in the morning can trigger profound transformations in your life. Think of the words you silently repeat, the ones that over time become the roots of powerful changes. By repeating affirmations, we can adjust our energy, bring balance, and transform how we handle daily challenges. In this video, we will explore 8 transformative phrases that can be repeated daily to bring more serenity, strength, and joy to your daily life. They are like seeds planted in your mind that, when watered with intention, grow and expand, creating an inner space of peace that reflects in every area of your life. First phrase, I am grateful for this new dawn. When you open your eyes and see the light of the day, feel gratitude for the opportunity of a new beginning. Breathe deeply and realize that no matter how the previous day went, today is a chance for renewal. Gratitude doesn't require grand gestures. It starts with the acknowledgement that we are alive and have the chance to learn, grow, and make a difference in our own lives and the lives of others. It's true that time never stops. Every passing day is a gift that quickly fades, like water between our fingers. When we wake up to this, we begin to value every moment, every detail of our daily lives. Even the soft sound of rain or the simple pleasure of a hot cup of coffee on a cold morning can become precious moments when lived with awareness. This gratitude transforms our perception of reality. When we allow ourselves to see the new day as a chance for renewal, we begin to look at challenges with a lighter perspective. It doesn't mean ignoring obstacles, but recognizing that they are part of our path. The simple act of thanking for a new day opens doors to a calmer mind and a more resilient heart. Even when things don't go as planned, remembering that the dawn brings the possibility of a new beginning strengthens our ability to move forward. As we begin to appreciate the little things throughout the day, we're building a solid foundation for a more serene and balanced life. This simple practice helps calm the mind and reminds us that life is made of moments that deserve to be lived with awareness and gratitude. Second phrase, I accept that everything in life is temporary. Accepting impermanence is one of the greatest lessons we can learn. Nothing in life stays the same forever. The seasons change, our emotions transform, and even our bodies go through cycles of renewal. When we allow ourselves to understand that nothing is eternal, we can live more lightly. It's not about resignation, but about wisdom in accepting that change is a natural part of the journey. Understanding that everything passes, both happy moments and challenging ones, helps us not to get stuck in the past or fear the future. By accepting impermanence, we find an internal balance that allows us to be more flexible and more willing to face whatever comes our way. Instead of holding on to what's already been, or losing ourselves in anxiety about what's to come, we can simply be present. In Buddhism, impermanence is seen not as a source of suffering, but as an opportunity for growth. Losses, changes, difficulties, all of these experiences have something to teach us if we know how to look at them consciously. Life is not made of static moments, but of a continuous flow. By allowing this fluidity to embrace us, we can accept situations with serenity and learn to flow with them. This recognition that nothing lasts forever is also an invitation to live with more presence. When we understand that difficulties will pass, we can face them with more confidence, knowing that pain and discomfort are temporary. This understanding brings peace because it frees us from the fear of change and connects us with the present moment. Third phrase, I cultivate compassion for myself and for others. Practicing compassion is understanding that just like anyone else, we too deserve love and acceptance. Many times, we are our harshest critics, carrying a burden of self-criticism and regrets that we wouldn't carry for others. Cultivating compassion for ourselves is essential, so we can also offer it to others genuinely. Self-compassion is not weakness. On the contrary, it is a form of strength. It means treating ourselves with kindness, respecting our own limits, and learning to forgive our own mistakes. When we practice self-compassion, we are more able to view our flaws constructively without letting them define us. This also reflects in how we treat others. When we embrace ourselves with care, we are more capable of offering support and understanding to others. Compassion, for both ourselves and others, connects us on a deeper level, teaching us to see beyond imperfections and difficulties. This attitude of empathy and kindness not only softens suffering, but also strengthens the bonds between people. In the context of relationships, cultivating compassion also means understanding that each person carries their own struggles. When we look at others with an open heart, we can understand their pain and act more wisely. This helps us build more human relationships based on understanding, not judgment. Fourth phrase, I seek wisdom in every experience. Each day is an opportunity to learn something new. If we are attentive, even the simplest situations can teach us great lessons. Wisdom is not just about accumulating intellectual knowledge, but about learning from life. Every experience, whether good or bad, holds a hidden lesson that can help us grow as human beings. It's important to understand that wisdom is not something we receive ready-made. It is something we build little by little. Every conversation, every silence, and every choice contributes to this process. The more we open our mind and heart, the more prepared we are to absorb what life offers. Even in moments of pain, we can find precious lessons. Sometimes a loss teaches us the value of being present while things still exist. Other times, a disappointment reveals the importance of trusting ourselves more. Every experience, no matter how bitter, contains a seed of light. Changing perspective is like turning a stone to see what's underneath. What once seemed like an obstacle can hide a new path. This doesn't mean romanticizing pain, but recognizing that it can be transformed. By doing this, we stop being victims of circumstances and become authors of our own story. Wisdom also comes from attentive observation. When we take the time to reflect, we notice patterns, understand motivations, and identify opportunities to act more consciously. Fifth phrase, I am at peace with myself. Being at peace with oneself is like finding a silent refuge within your own heart. This tranquility doesn't depend on where we are or what we have, but on how we relate to ourselves. When we stop fighting against our own essence, a calmness emerges that no external circumstance can shake. It is a state that arises from self-awareness and acceptance. Often, we spend our lives trying to change everything around us to feel good, but true peace doesn't come from controlling the world. It comes from harmonizing our inner world. It is possible to be amidst chaos and still maintain a stable center. This happens when we understand that we cannot avoid all storms, but we can learn not to lose ourselves in them. Accepting ourselves means recognizing both our qualities and imperfections honestly. It doesn't mean settling, but rather stopping the inner conflict of feeling like we're not enough. Every experience we've lived has shaped who we are today. Rejecting parts of ourselves is like trying to erase important chapters from our story. This acceptance frees us from a silent inner war. Letting go of the past is an act of courage. Many emotional wounds stay open because we keep reliving old events. When we release these painful memories, we make room for new experiences to blossom. Forgiveness, both for ourselves and others, is the key that unlocks this liberation. The balance in our soul arises when we learn not to react impulsively to everything that happens. By observing before we act, we create a space of calm between the stimulus and the response. This space allows us to make more conscious decisions that align with who we truly are. In Buddhism, it is understood that the mind is like a lake. When agitated, it reflects nothing clearly, but when calm, it shows everything with clarity. By cultivating inner serenity, we are able to see reality without the distortions caused by fear or anger. This brings us closer to a more lucid and harmonious life. Being at peace with oneself does not mean always being happy, but knowing how to navigate difficult emotions without losing ourselves. It means understanding that sadness, anger, and anxiety are part of the human experience, but they don't define who we are. Even in moments of difficulty, we can maintain our center. This state also helps us deal better with other people. When we don't carry internal conflicts, we don't feel the need to engage in unnecessary disputes. Criticism no longer hurts us deeply, and compliments are not our only source of value. We begin to live more freely and authentically. True inner peace is built through small daily choices, taking care of our body, respecting our limits, cultivating healthy thoughts, and seeking moments of stillness are ways to nourish this state. It is like watering a garden that slowly blossoms and perfumes our entire being. Even on the most turbulent days, it is possible to find this serenity, just by focusing inward and remembering that behind all the layers of agitation, there is a core of calm that never disappears. We find the strength to move forward with firmness and lightness. With time, we realize that being at peace with ourselves is one of the greatest treasures we can acquire. Nothing external can replace this sense of wholeness. It supports us in any phase of life and helps us walk with more confidence. So when you seek this peace, don't wait for the world around you to calm down. Begin within yourself. When your heart finds balance, even chaos seems less threatening, and life becomes a safer place to exist. Sixth phrase, I am in the here and now. Being in the here and now is like opening your eyes to the world that has always been right in front of you, yet often goes unnoticed. When our minds are trapped in the past or anxious about the future, we miss out on the richness of the present moment. It's in the present that life truly happens, and it's here that we find true peace. Living fully in the now doesn't mean ignoring responsibilities or forgetting dreams. It means not letting them consume us. By bringing our attention to the present, we give value to what's happening right now. Every breath, every sound, every sensation becomes more vivid and meaningful. Anxiety feeds on what has not yet happened. By anchoring ourselves in the present moment, we make less room for thoughts that pull us away. It's like placing our feet firmly on the ground and feeling the security of being where we truly are, without chasing after a time that has not yet arrived. Distractions are like invisible chains that take us away from ourselves. By staying conscious of the now, we cut these bonds and begin to live more intensely and genuinely. A simple conversation, a glass of water, or the wind on our face can transform into profound experiences when our attention is fully focused on them. In Buddhism, being present is a fundamental practice, as it teaches us to observe without judgment. It is to perceive thoughts, emotions, and sensations like clouds passing through the sky without clinging to them. This mental clarity opens space for more serenity and less suffering. Bringing the mind back to the present requires practice. Small exercises like paying attention to your breath or your steps while walking help train this ability. Little by little, this awareness becomes natural and life stops passing unnoticed. It's like adjusting the focus of a camera to see every detail clearly. Being in the present moment also improves our relationships. When we truly listen to someone, the connection becomes deeper and more real. People can tell when we're really there, not divided between distant thoughts or electronic devices. This state of presence also helps us act with more wisdom. Instead of reacting automatically, we start responding more consciously. This avoids regrets and allows us to make decisions aligned with our true values and needs. Even simple tasks like cooking or cleaning gain new meaning when done with full attention. They stop being mere chores and become opportunities to cultivate peace and presence. This shift in perspective brings lightness to everyday life. Being here and now doesn't eliminate challenges, but it changes the way we deal with them. Instead of carrying the weight of the past and the fear of the future, we face each situation with clarity and calm. Problems stop seeming like insurmountable mountains and become steps we can climb. The present moment is the only time we have real power over. In it, we can act, decide, change, and feel. When we realize this, we understand that it makes no sense to live constantly in a time that no longer exists or has not yet arrived. Living in the here and now is, in essence, living more fully. It is recognizing that each instant is unique and irreplaceable. By embracing this truth, life becomes more colorful, more intense, and more genuine, and we become more free to simply be. Seventh phrase, may I cultivate compassion, both within and outside. Cultivating compassion, both for ourselves and others, is like lighting a flame that warms not only our hearts, but also those around us. This act begins with the internal silence, treating ourselves with patience and respect, and naturally expands to others. When we take care of ourselves with tenderness, we create the foundation for offering the same quality to the world. Self-kindness is not a luxury, but a necessity. It protects us from emotional exhaustion and helps maintain a balanced mind. By avoiding excessive self-criticism, we make space for learning and developing a healthier relationship with our imperfections. This personal care reflects in our relationships because what we cultivate within inevitably manifests on the outside. When we choose to act with compassion, it doesn't mean ignoring conflicts or injustices. On the contrary, it means we decide to face them in a constructive manner. Instead of reacting with anger, we seek to understand the root of the situation. Many times behind harsh actions, there are fears and pains that need to be heard. Transforming conflicts into understanding is an act of courage. It requires letting go of the need to always be right and prioritizing human connection. By listening attentively and speaking calmly, we create an environment where differences can be discussed without losing respect. This atmosphere is fertile for true solutions. Compassion is not passivity. It is an active force that seeks to alleviate suffering. This can mean offering practical help, words of comfort, or simply a silent presence. Every small gesture counts, and when combined, they create a profound impact. In Buddhism, compassion is like a river that flows without choosing whom to benefit. It isn't limited to those we love or agree with, but extends to all beings. This broader perspective helps us overcome divisions and prejudices, strengthening empathy. Practicing external compassion starts with small acts. A smile, a listening ear, or an unexpected favor. Never underestimate the power of these actions. Often it's these small things that ignite hope in someone's day. Life is made of moments like these, which may seem small, but can transform entire realities. To keep compassion alive, it's essential to nourish it within. This means caring for our health, resting, and maintaining a space for reflection and silence. Without this base, we risk burning out and losing clarity. Taking care of ourselves is an essential part of caring for others. When our hearts are open, our words and actions change. Instead of automatic and defensive responses, we offer understanding and patience. This not only calms the environment, but also inspires others to act in the same way, creating a positive cycle. Even in situations where we cannot resolve someone else's problem, compassion is still possible. We simply need to be present in a genuine way, showing that the person is not alone. With time, cultivating compassion inside and out becomes a natural way of living. We begin to see every person as someone with their own struggles and stories. This understanding makes us less harsh and more willing to build bridges rather than walls. Compassion then ceases to be merely a feeling and becomes a daily practice. It shapes how we speak, listen, act, and even think. The more we practice, the more we realize that by alleviating someone else's pain, we are also healing parts of ourselves. True compassion begins with the simple act of recognizing that, without exception, we all carry challenges and vulnerabilities. This awareness changes the way we look at others because we understand that behind each behavior lies a story we don't fully know. This understanding reduces hasty judgments and increases patience. When we cultivate compassion, we train our minds to see beyond the surface. We begin to notice emotional needs, not just visible actions. This allows us to offer support in a more effective way, whether through a word of encouragement or a practical gesture of help. Compassion also teaches us to forgive more easily. Holding on to resentments only prolongs suffering, while forgiveness frees us and opens space for new possibilities for connection. Forgiving doesn't mean forgetting. It means choosing not to carry the weight of bitterness. Inside, compassion acts as a balm that softens self-criticism. Instead of punishing ourselves for every mistake, we learn to view them as growth opportunities. This mindset strengthens our self-esteem and helps us maintain a more stable emotional state. In our relationships with others, compassion creates bridges where walls once stood. By offering understanding instead of judgment, we initiate more constructive dialogues. This openness fosters conflict resolution and deepens trust. Compassion is also an act of presence. When we are fully present to what the other person expresses, whether verbally or silently, this shows that they are valued and safe to share their feelings. Even in moments when we cannot change someone's situation, simply being there for them provides the strength to keep moving forward. Eighth phrase, I am complete just as I am. Feeling complete just as we are means recognizing that our worth doesn't depend on what we possess, what we've achieved, or what others think of us. This realization is liberating because it frees us from the constant need for external validation. When we fully accept ourselves, we begin to live with greater authenticity and less fear of being who we truly are. The relentless search for approval can become an invisible prison. We mold our behaviors, choices, and even our dreams to meet others' expectations. However, this constant adaptation pulls us away from our essence. By affirming that we are complete just as we are, we break these chains and reclaim the freedom to live according to our inner truth. Self-love is not arrogance. It is a deep recognition of our intrinsic worth. It allows us to celebrate our achievements without clinging to them and to face our failures without defining ourselves by them. This emotional stability arises from the understanding that our dignity is unconditional and not measured by external standards or comparisons. When we fully accept ourselves, we stop wasting energy trying to fit into molds that don't belong to us. Instead, we direct that energy toward growing, learning, and expressing ourselves authentically. It's like replacing a heavy mask with a free face, where each feature carries its own beauty and history. In Buddhism, there is a teaching that each being already holds the seed of enlightenment. This means that we don't need to become someone else to deserve peace and happiness. We only need to recognize and nurture what already exists within us. This perspective encourages us to look at ourselves with more compassion and respect. Self-acceptance doesn't mean stagnation. On the contrary, when we feel whole, we have more courage to evolve because this change doesn't come from a sense of lack, but from a natural desire to expand. It's the difference between growing out of self-love and changing due to rejection of who we are. Daily affirmations of our value, not mechanically but with genuine feeling, are like watering a plant that slowly grows stronger. This silent practice creates deep roots that sustain our self-esteem, even in the face of criticism or indifference. Being at peace with who we are also enhances our relationships. When we don't depend on others' approval to feel valuable, we relate more freely and healthily. We stop acting to please and start acting for genuine connection and respect. Recognizing our own completeness doesn't eliminate challenges, but it changes how we deal with them. Instead of thinking, "I need to conquer this to feel good about myself," we think, "I am already worthy, and I can face this without losing my essence." This mindset strengthens our resilience and reduces the emotional impact of adversity. True self-love protects us from the traps of comparison. When we understand that each person has their own path, we stop measuring our life by the standards of others. This allows us to celebrate others' victories without envy and learn from them without feeling inferior. Even in moments of vulnerability, this sense of wholeness sustains us. We can recognize our weaknesses without identifying ourselves solely with them. They become only parts of us, not the whole. By acknowledging our completeness, we not only improve how we face challenges, but also embrace a simpler and fuller life. We don't need to accumulate things, titles, or accolades to feel valuable. This simplicity is not a lack of ambition, but the freedom to choose what truly matters, without being swayed by external pressures or fleeting trends. This inner completeness also helps us face loneliness more serenely. Being alone no longer means emptiness. It becomes an opportunity for reconnection with ourselves. We discover that we can enjoy our own company, and that in truth, peace comes from this silent, inner dialogue. When we understand our value, we no longer let destructive criticism affect us. We can hear opinions without allowing them to define our identity. At the same time, we receive compliments with gratitude, but without becoming dependent on them to feel good. This stability is a clear sign of emotional maturity. True self-love creates a protective field against toxic relationships. When we know we are complete, we don't settle for anything less than respect and consideration. This allows us to set clear boundaries, avoiding bonds based on emotional dependence or manipulation. The sense of completeness also sparks generosity. When we feel full inside, we are not afraid to share with others. Whether it's time, attention, or affection, many people spend their lives looking for something that can only be found within themselves. They believe that a new job, a new relationship, or a new material possession will fill the inner void. But when we realize that we are already whole, we see that everything that comes from the outside is just a complement, never the source of our value. Living with this acceptance requires consistency. It's natural for insecurities to appear on some days. During these times, it's important to remind ourselves of the qualities we already possess and the times we've overcome difficulties. This memory helps us regain confidence and strengthen our positive internal outlook. Life becomes lighter when we are no longer constantly trying to prove something to others. This freedom allows us to explore new possibilities, take healthy risks, and live according to our own principles. The energy once spent on pleasing others is now used to create, learn, and evolve. The process of change becomes a natural choice, not an obligation. In Buddhism, understanding that we are already whole is to recognize that our true nature is free and complete. The practice is merely the way to rediscover this essence, shedding layers of conditioning and beliefs that made us forget who we truly are.